Hello, it is 6 a.m. in Washington. It's 1 p.m. in Cairo. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Zain Verjee. This is World One live from London.
But first, U.S. President Barack Obama delivered what could be his final State of the Union address. He did that Tuesday night.
President of the United States.
Anyone who tells you otherwise, anyone who tells you that America is in decline or that our influence has waned, doesn't know what they're talking about.
This State of the Union address comes at a busy time in U.S. politics. In many ways, it was the first move in the president's re-election campaign. And as political rivals, as we've been hearing already, shooting back. Congressional correspondent Kate Baldwin joins us now live from Washington with more on that. And Kate, as we hear there, we understand that the president, as we heard, was talking a lot about tax incentives and spending and such. But what the Republicans were looking for was some sort of talk about deficit reduction.
Republicans, I was speaking to many Republicans leading up to the speech, and it seemed Republicans
are gathering in Tahrir Square in the heart of the Egyptian capital, Cairo. They're there to mark a year since the start of the uprising that overthrew President Hosni Mubarak. But although today is partly about celebrating what they achieved a year ago, the mood is tense. These are live pictures from the square. Let's see what newspapers are saying on the anniversary. In the UAE, the headline in The National is Egypt's uprising continues to be a work in progress. It's a common piece, and it goes on to say there is little doubt there will be trials and tribulations ahead, but a year later, the Egyptian revolution is real. In Canada, the National Post has the headline, Egypt marks 1 year after the revolution, and it says the anniversary, which is both exhilarating and frustrating, highlights the growing gap between public expectations for the post-Mubarak era and the reality of an unfinished revolution. And finally, in Turkey, today's Zaman has a guest editorial with the headline, a year after the Egyptian revolution, Egyptian-Turkish relations are booming, written by Egypt's ambassador to Turkey, Abdurrahman Saladin. The article says the countries of the Middle East are witnessing rapid and unpredictable changes and are faced with serious challenges and threats. Having identical foreign policy goals, Egypt and Turkey are expected to join hands to promote peace in this volatile region. And also used the speech to warn Syria's rulers. The forces of change can't be reversed, he said. In his address to Congress, Mr. Obama also said the U.S. would oppose violence and intimidation.
Back to you. Thanks, Mari. Sure.
A team of rescuers has refloated 39 pilot whales that had become stranded on a New Zealand beach. But it wasn't the first time the whales had gotten into trouble. They were part of an initial pod of 99. Not all of them, though, made it back out to sea. TVNZ's Lucas de Jong has more on the rescue than the re-rescue of a most unfortunate group of whales.
It's the moment human rescuers fought for, to see a pod of pilot whales refloated.
It's incredible.
The terrifying ordeal of 2 aid workers kidnapped in Somalia is finally over. U.S. President Obama gave the order for U.S. forces to go into Somalia late on Tuesday and snatch them from the kidnappers. U.S.-born Jessica Buchanan and Paul Hagen, fisted from Denmark, had been working with a Danish aid group. Last October, Somali pirates seized them. As we've been reporting, U.S. President Barack Obama gave his annual State of the Union address Tuesday night. In his speech, the president promised to get tough on China. The U.S. has long accused Beijing of breaking international trade rules. This is what he had to say.
Tonight, I'm announcing the creation of a trade enforcement unit that will be charged with investigating unfair trading practices in countries like China.
How is this news being received right now in China? Let's go to Stan Grant, our senior correspondent in Beijing. He joins us now live. Stan, has there been any sort of reaction?
No, most of the government agencies here are closed for Chinese New Year, so we're not going to get a reaction.
I'm curious, Stan, to know how much weight China actually puts on any of the criticism that comes to them from the United States or any other part of the world when they know very well that most industries depend on the region, particularly China's spending power, that they have a lot of weight when it comes to them, even saving industries from going into decline.
Yes, and you know, if you look around the world during the global financial crisis, many credit the stimulus measures from
Tiger Woods getting ready to swing back into action, and the biggest names in tennis battle it out down under in the Aussie Open. Here's Don Riddell with all the details. Hello.
Hello there, thanks very much. Within the last few minutes, Novak Djokovic has booked his place in the semi-finals of the Australian Open.
Grace there.
Absolutely.
After the embarrassment. All right,
Yep.
Thank you very much for that, Don.
You're watching World One Live from
The
London.
founder of the file-sharing website Mega Upload will stay in jail for another month after being denied bail in a New Zealand court. The judge said the German millionaire Kim.com posed a significant flight risk. Now, his website allows users to upload copyrighted films and music onto the internet without authorization. Authorities alleged his websites made more than $175 million in illegal profits. Now, Megaload was shut down last week, and .com was arrested in Auckland as part of an FBI investigation into internet piracy in the United States. But despite the crackdown, the U.S. government is having some cyber worries of its own. The hacking group known as Anonymous has managed to shut down a number of government websites. The latest is a site managed by the Federal Trade Commission. The group says it'll wage a war against the internet piracy legislation being considered by Congress. Zain?
That's it for World One. I'm Zain Verjee.
And I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue with World One with a special edition after the break. Stay with us here on CNN.